What's going on, everybody? Try to make this quick. Doing pretty good over here. Still, I know I haven't made a video in a few days, but when I'm parked, generally I am on the load board. Right now I am waiting to pick up a load. Trailer's not ready yet, and then I have a load already booked behind it, and I'm considering taking a reset. So the load board can wait until later. But I'm spending a lot of time on the load board whenever I park, and it's just trying to get used to where things are, where things go, what the rates look like in different areas, which under this contracted freight load board, in most areas I've looked at, it could be over $2 a mile freight, down to I've seen. I think the lowest I've seen was like 58 cents a mile or something like that in the same area. So it just depends on the freight, really. It just depends on the freight. And I can tell you right now, as a company or as a owner-op in this program, that's a company driver's freight because I'm not doing it. And I'm not sure what he's doing. I don't think he knows what he's doing either. Kind of a weird place to stop for the truck running right up and back in. I'm sitting in a little driveway right outside the shipping gate. It's just a little parking area guys use while they wait. But yeah, it's Thursday. I got my first settlement with everything coming out, and as anybody watched my last video, you know last week could have been better. I kind of got myself stuck, but I made a decision, deadheaded quite a ways, and then I took a 34, and I still came out, in my opinion, really good considering. I got, the week before that, they took $550 for the heavy vehicle use tax. That was included in the finance of my truck for this year. And obviously, they knew they made that mistake because they put it back this week. If they hadn't, I was going to call them. But they put it back this week. And but even without that, I still made over $800 to my net. It was $800. That's after paying the truck payment, fuel, everything else goes along with it. $160 goes in my maintenance account each week. After everything, I still made that money, and last week was a horrible week. So, obviously, even if you're having a bad week, it shouldn't kill you. As long as you're out here, doing something. I only ran on that settlement, this one that's paying out tomorrow. I only ran 3 loads. That was it. I ran 3 loads. Paid for everything and still put money in my account. That's pretty good. Considering I was stressing because I knew what a bad week last week was. I knew what was supposed to come out. But still, even though you write your numbers down, they can still differ from, it's like out of this settlement, it actually should have been $60 higher. When you come in, if you don't have a kingpin lock, you can get it through them. It's, I can't remember, $40, $60, something. And they double charged me for it. So instead of they took 8 payments of $15. They only should have took 4. So I had to call my business advisor, whatever you call them. So I had to call them, scam likely. So I had to call them and, let them know that, hey, I think they overbilled me for that. Said he'd get it corrected. Not a very nice, not a very good personality. Glad I don't have to talk to him. that's one thing that's nice about this, is I don't have to talk to them. I really don't. A lot of issues, you call different departments anyway. This issue was one that he had to correct. I just got no time for that personality, so I'm glad that I don't have to have them. One thing I can say is communication was one of the things, like every company, they harp on in orientation. And I know the company side of this company. And I know when I first started driving and I trained with this company, and communication was great. But on this side, I don't want to talk to them. I really don't. And considering the personality I dealt with earlier, I really don't want to talk to them. But again, their only job is to correct things like that. That's the first time I've actually called and talked to them since I started. I've sent 4 messages on Qualcomm. I've only had one of those answered, and they were all related to the customer. The other 3 I just figured it out with the help of the customers. It sure wasn't with the help of the person that's paid to do that, assist you. They call them business advisors. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, if you were a real business advisor, you'd probably starve to death. But enough about that. It don't matter. It really doesn't matter. That's one reason I wanted to do a program like this one, so you leave me alone. Which they have. I will give them that. I have not been bothered one iota. But occasionally, you might have to make a conversation with somebody, whether you want to or not. So we'll try to keep those limited, extremely limited. Now I called Jolene Mark. She's the one that does the Schneider finance side of things. I did have to call her just to verify some information today. Now she is extremely helpful. She always has been. She must really like her job. I'm thinking the guy I spoke to earlier, I don't think he's real happy in his career choice, but whatever. But yeah, she was extremely helpful, quick, short, easy done, not a big deal. And again, not that I don't dislike anyone. I just we don't need to talk. We're not going to hang out. We're not going to send each other Christmas cards. So, well, I'm good. But yeah, my maintenance money started this week too. That's $160 a pop, which is a good thing, because in about 6,500 miles this truck's due for its first service, and they want you to take it to a Freightliner dealer, which means it's going to cost more. So by then, hopefully I'll have enough to cover the majority of it anyway. Because other than that, I mean, you can use the Schneider operating center shops, or you can go to whatever shop you want to go to. It's your decision. It just depends on what you want to pay. If you want to pay full shop rate at a TA or anything like that. And then about that same time, it's also going to be due for the annual DOT they want it done every 3 months. If you have that done at the operating center, Schneider covers it. It don't cost you anything. So that's where mine will be done, just because. Which is, not a bad deal. Trying to think of what else without yawning 20 minutes at a time. Well, jeez. Every time I start a video, I start yawning. I bore myself, I guess. I can imagine how you guys feel. Trailer I dropped off here, I picked up yesterday, loaded. South end of Mississippi. Whoever dropped that off did not do a post trip. I'm just saying. Because it had a tire on there. It looked like it had been through a meat grinder. And I know that didn't happen at the customer. Not unless they got a really good yard driver who could damage one tire without damaging all of them. Wasn't a big deal. They sent a guy out from TA. He fixed it relatively quickly. It only took, I think, an hour and 20 minutes total. And I was on my way. But I looked up the driver vehicle inspection report from the previous driver. It said no defects. I'm sorry. It's just a pet peeve of mine. I hate people that drop off problems for the next driver to have to deal with, knowing that all of us are out here trying to do a job, make money. If he was willing to haul it with that tire in that condition, obviously, he's braver than I am, because I would rather spend the hour and 20 minutes there getting it done than sit on the side of the road for possibly 3-4 hours, because I've done that, waiting for someone to show up to do it. Just is what it is. But yeah, drives me nuts. To me, that's just lazy trucking. Lazy trucking. I got the guy's name. I'm not going to say it, though. I'll be frank with you. Frankly, I find that to be a real problem. But it is what it is. It was irritating when I found when I had to deal with it, but what to the ever? What to the ever? What else? What else? Don't know. But yeah, so far everything's going pretty good. Everything's going pretty good. Truck's running good. Last few days I've been averaging about 8.8 miles per gallon. And I've hauled a couple of relatively heavy loads. So that's not too bad. I'm not complaining about the fuel mileage, that's for sure. Because the last company I worked for, I drove a Volvo, and I've always played the fuel mileage game, trying to get it ticking up, That damn Volvo, it wasn't even that old. She's on peak, man. He was getting 6.3 miles a gallon. He was having a good day. That thing was a joke. So yeah, it's nice to, especially now that I'm paying for the fuel. At that time I wasn't paying for it. Didn't matter to me. But now I am. I like that number. Hopefully I can get it up higher. I've been trying to get it to 9. I've been to 9 once. When I was bobtail. When I first got the truck. When I first got the truck, it said 6.1. And by the time I got to Ohio, I think it was at 9.2. But again, I was bobtail. So hauling freight, climbing these little hills, still averaging 8.8. I live with that. I'd be happy with that. It's all good. Luckily, these next two loads are really light, so that'll help. But I'll cut this video here real quick. For the guys who have, especially the one gentleman that's been watching the videos and giving me the encouragement and info messages, I really do appreciate it. Knowledge is not a bad thing unless it's incorrect knowledge. So yeah, I appreciate the info. And again, I'm feeling better today just because I was stressed from last week. Just knowing but not really knowing how that was going to come out in this settlement, and it was all fine. So I do feel better about that. It's good to know that I could have a week be that poor and still make $1. So that's a comfort. So that it also helps in the fact that my load planning, as far as picking loads, that actually opens up more to what I would normally look at and go, because one thing I have noticed in doing this and picking loads and looking at the load board all the time, it's real easy to get caught up in those $1,100, $1,200, $1,300 loads. But if you actually look at the time spent on them and the amount you're getting paid per mile, these quick loads pay better. You don't spend a lot of time on them, and you can do one pretty much every day. And if you get really good, and I'm sure guys are, if you watch Jeff Like, he used to work for Schneider. That was his big thing. Is running short runs, making the higher dollars and working less. Obviously, the fuel costs are down because you're not running as many miles. And you're making more per mile on the load because they are short runs. So yeah, it just makes sense. It just makes complete sense. Again, tomorrow I've been out a week, and I still got plenty of time on my clock, and I'm getting hours back day after tomorrow. So I'm not killing myself by any means. And this week is like I said, it'll be a pretty nice week. But yeah. So as always, I appreciate you guys taking the time. Be safe. We'll talk to you.